Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. A lot of people are asking, where do you get this shirt? I am CoachColin.com. Look it up. But right now, what we're getting, link in the description, but what we're getting into is Charlemagne the God. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I understand how Hollywood works. You have a manager, you have a talent agency, you have people behind the scenes, publicists, and they all work very hard when you write a book to push you out onto every single platform. And that's why we've been seeing him every single place, even though he doesn't seem to know much about what he's talking about at all. Very dishonest take that I'm about to show you between him and a CNN anchor. He's just doing the propaganda thing, just full force. And you know what? I guess if that makes you the money, why not? If it sells your book, why not? I guess. I'm going to show you some points that he's brought up here in this segment, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of him talking about being a bipartisan person. He's not involved. Yeah, and he's doing the whole Jon Stewart thing. Oh, I'm just in the middle. I'm just looking at both sides here. Absolutely ridiculous. You're going to see that's very not true in a second. But let's get into something a little lighter first, folks.
Americans that stormed the Capitol. I don't think he'd be talking about pardons. It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. The same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. He's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin. He's that guy who won't say Black Lives Matter and invokes neo-Nazi Third Reich terms.
Donald Trump, he's that guy. He's that guy that sneaks into my room late at night. He floats through the window and he takes my pills and he runs off like a scoundrel. He's that same guy that denied my application to get an apartment back in 1997. You know, I used to be a black man. I was as black as Corn Pop, and that's why me and Corn Pop always went at it. We were both super predators back then. And I used to fight Corn Pop, and Elon Musk was the ref. And Donald Trump would come and he'd say, hey, you can't live here. And he'd kick me out. That's when I joined the civil rights movement. Oh, this is who they're defending in this segment. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Charlemagne the God sitting down with CNN anchor Michael Shmurishkhan. I believe that's how you say his name. I don't pronounce names right when I don't respect people. It's a little quirk I have. Let's get into it.
He's also the author of a new book called Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks. Charlemagne, I love the book. We're going to talk about the book. You write, small talk is killing us as a society, so there won't be small talk here. When I recently wondered aloud if Trump has the sympathy of some black men, because historically many of them have had their own legal entanglements. Somebody close to me said, you can't say that as a white guy, you're stereotyping, maybe you'll be perceived as racist. But some of your callers are saying the same thing. Do you agree that's what accounts for some of his black support?
Well, I don't agree. You know, black people are not monolithic, so I can't speak for all black people. But personally, I don't agree. Donald Trump is not a political prisoner. He's not someone who, you know, died unjustly at the hands of the police. He's a privileged former president who broke the law, and he got held accountable for it. And that's the way it should be. Damn shame he can still, you know, run for president, you know, after being convicted on all those counts. But clearly, America has zero protection, you know, for people like a Donald Trump.
Okay, in the book you say if you're black, it's almost assured that you've suffered some sort of trauma in your life. The justice system is certainly the source of a lot of that trauma, but you're not seeing any parallel between the decline of support for Biden among people of color, the rise of support for Trump, and Trump's legal issues.
No, not at all. I don't think.
Then what accounts for it? Then what accounts for it?
I mean, I don't even know if there's really a rise. I think some of those polls might be a little bit overstated. I mean, we're going to have to see come November. But when I look at those numbers and I see people say, you know, 22% of all black people are going to vote, you know, for Donald Trump, I don't necessarily believe that. I don't know if I believe those those numbers to be true. I think there might be a slight uptick, but I can't see 22% of, black people going out to vote for Donald Trump come November. I could be wrong, but I don't personally see it.
In the book, you talk about your fondness. We have this in common. We both love the movie Bulworth. Warren Beatty in
Yes.
Bulworth. And Warren Beatty doesn't feel obligated to do safe speak. I found interesting that you talk about private conversations with Secretary Clinton, private conversations with Kamala Harris, and then like when the mic gets hot, it's a different persona. They are not Bulworth. Trump is Bulworth. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think that, one thing that Donald Trump did that I believe is a good thing is, he killed the language of politics. Like, the language of politics is dead. So, if you had these politicians who actually sat down, with everyday working class people and had conversations with everyday working class people. I mean, that's what I get to do every morning on the Breakfast Club. That's what I get to do when I'm out doing my, community work, whether it's in South Carolina, whether it's in New Jersey, whether it's in New York. When you get to actually talk to people and see what's on people's minds, when you get in front of those microphones, you'll always have that in your head. You'll always have, in your mind what people are actually saying. When you're sitting around with your team and your team is coming at you with all these notes, you're like, well, you can personally say, I don't know if that's how people feel, because I saw, a young woman in Florida, and I'm speaking off experience. I just saw a young woman in Florida. Her name was Kim, when I was at Coral Gables for a book signing. She came up to me and, she said to me that, Biden is going to have to earn her vote this year because she's upset that Biden didn't fight hard enough for voting rights and that Biden didn't fight, hard enough to increase the federal minimum wage. These are words that are coming out of their mouth. When I was speaking back in January, somebody asked me at Fox, actually, if the border was going to be an issue in November. The reason I said yes was because of the conversations that I had been having with, activists in Chicago, with, people in neighborhoods in New York. So my rhetoric comes from the people, and that's what happened in the movie Bulworth. His rhetoric was coming from the people. These elected officials, need to sit down and have more conversations with individuals. I see them, going around and they're having these, rallies where they're talking to people. They should change those to town halls and actually talk with people. I actually think they should listen, more than they're talking right now.
Charlemagne, one of the highest compliments paid to me was by Bill Maher when he said to me, "You don't have a team." And as I was reading your book, I was thinking, Charlemagne, you don't have a team either. And it came to light in that View interview where it's like they were putting pressure on you. It was almost expected of you. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe because you're a person of color, maybe because of the interview that you had done previously with then Vice President Biden, like, why aren't you on board and endorsing him? Address that issue.
Yeah, because I'm all about my interests, and I'm all about, I'm all about voting my interests, and I'm all about an issue. I'm an issues person. I'm not an individual person. I'm not a party person. And that, I think that media, we have to find a way, to let folks know, what Trump and his regime are planning, but I also think, sitting on air all day and sitting on social media all day talking about, how bad Trump isn't effective, because the people who are supporting Trump don't care about any of that. They don't care that he was convicted. They don't care that, he may have used the N-word. They don't care about any of his racism, sexism. They are all in on him, and nothing is going to change that. So the media, especially on the left, should talk more about the good things the Biden administration has done when people ask questions. And, if they're being fair on the right, they should do that as well. They shouldn't sit around and talk about, how bad a Biden is. They should talk about the things that Biden has done well, and they should talk about the things that, Trump isn't doing well. That way it would look like everybody is being, fair and balanced. But right now, you could just turn on any one network and know what team they're going to be representing. And that I don't personally think that's good for the American people.
Totally agree. My poll question today on my website at smerconish.com asks if this verdict is going to change the outcome of the election. What's your short answer to that?
It definitely will have an impact, because I believe 2024 is going to come down to the battle of the bases. So those diehard, conservative and liberal voters who come out and vote no matter what. So it's really which candidate can energize their base the most. In a situation like this, it does energize Trump's base. You know, just yesterday in New York City, I'm going down Fifth Avenue. They were in the streets protesting, waving F Biden flags and stopping traffic. His base reacts to things, you know, the way the left should. Like, you know, when you see Roe v. Wade getting overturned, or voting rights being gutted, when those civil liberties are being taken away, folks should be in the streets protesting like that. So I see, you know, Trump's base more energized right now than I do, you know, Biden's base. I see Biden's base upset with him over a number of things, and I think.
Oh man, yeah, he's right. You know, they should just protest, same way they did George Floyd, right? You know, they never get out into the streets. Yeah, you know what I mean? They should just get right out there and just do all those things that they did. that would be great. Now, let's get into this whole thing. There's a lot of things that this guy said. Now, first thing is, he said it's a shame that President Trump can still run for president. And the thing that makes it so he can do that is the fact that the Constitution allows it. So what he's actually saying is, you know, it's a shame that the Constitution still allows Trump to run. And what he doesn't realize that he's also saying is that it's a shame that in the future there could be a black man who's a felon who decides to run for president, and he actually has great ideas, and he's actually an everyday person, and this could be a white person who's a felon. There's so many people who end up in these situations of becoming felons that are actually hardworking, decent people, caught up in the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, wrong people around them. And he's saying it's a shame that those people would be able to run. See, this is the thing, though. He doesn't realize that he's saying that because it's no holds bars when it's all about Trump. There's just no... Just forget everything. We're talking about Trump. Let's just focus in on Trump and just discard everything. He didn't even think about the Constitution. And guys like this, who are very left-leaning, even though he's trying to seem very in the middle for some reason, I have no clue, because he's literally the guy that Biden said, if you don't know if you're for me or for Trump, you ain't black. And he didn't even respond to it. He actually tried to say something quickly to push that comment aside. He was trying to not defend, but he was trying to hide that comment and just say something very quick directly afterwards to kind of push that comment aside and not let that breathe as the last thing that was said. So to act like now you're in the middle is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And again, great publicist. Get him on Fox, get him on CNN, get him on The View. This is all happening because he has a book. That's the whole reason that this is happening. And it's a book about why small talk is no good. Whatever topic that is. Maybe it's important, maybe it's not. Then he says he got treated. What actually happened with Trump? This is actually my point. He got treated like one of us. He got treated like a regular person. That's what actually happened to Trump. That's why a lot of people identify with him, is that he went to court and he walked in and everybody knew, like people have experienced this, black people, white people, people who feel like they've been done wrong by the justice system. You walk in and everybody feels like you're guilty. Maybe you can't afford a lawyer. You got a public defender. You feel like he's against you. The person who's trying to charge you, the judge is very flippant about you. And then you end up having to go have a stay in jail out of nowhere. You let them know, hey, I got a job. I have kids. I have this. I have that. And if you could just allow me to do weekends or something, or probation or so. And they just go, nah, you should learn a lesson. And they put you in jail and they derail your life for what could be. I've seen it happen to friends of mine. Derail a life for decades, because then you do the jail time and then you got the probation afterwards. So now you can't even do things properly. You can't experience life the way you need to experience. You can't do overtime on the weekends because you got to go see the probation officer and this and that. It's terrible. But anyway, to this point, I wanted to bring this gentleman up. Oh, he's already talking. Damn. God damn these Instagram videos. Now I got to wait until he starts over. But actually,
like a politician, he's getting treated like me. He's getting treated like me. And the people that I despise, the elites, the people that don't answer to the same law that I answer to, the people that can literally bat an eye and say, hey, make that disappear from me, and it's gone, the people that never get challenged on the disrespectful BS that they commit every single day, I can't stand. But this man's getting popped for things commoners don't even get popped for. This man is under scrutiny more than a black man downtown Compton with a bag of good in his pocket. This man is being sent through a sifter so fine that they're checking what type of toilet paper he uses to make sure there's nothing illegal in it. And this man is now a felon. One of the only people in politics, period, that's a felon. And y'all acting like you're fighting against the system when you are on the same side as the universities, the mainstream media, 99% of politicians, every manufacturing company that does their business overseas. You think you're fighting the system when your entire face is plastered over Target, Nike, Walmart, every time your month comes around. And I ain't a liberal, so I can tell you why I'm going to do something, okay? The reason I'm going to vote Trump 2024 is because one main reason. This man getting the people treatment. He's getting the people treatment. He ain't getting treated like a billionaire. He ain't getting treated like a president. He ain't getting treated like a politician. He's getting treated like me. He's getting treated like me. And the people that I despise, the elites, the people that don't answer.
Just wanted that last part to play again. You know, that sums it up. He's getting treated like one. He's getting the people treatment, as that gentleman said. That's exactly what's happening to Trump. Getting the people treatment. So, again, back to Charlemagne and all the things that he said here. Zero protection from people like Trump, right? Again, he's basically saying, you know, it's a shame that the Constitution allows us. It's a shame that we can't alter the Constitution in some kind of way. Then he moves on to say, the thing that I love that so many people in CNN, funny that he has the same talking points as some people at CNN, is that black Trump voters are just a myth. They're not real, you know? It's like the monster under the bed. It can't hurt you. They're not really there. For him to sit around and say, well, I just don't see 22% of the black population. Bro, you haven't even met 5% of the black population in America. So how do you just go, I don't know, that 22%? What are you talking about? And then on top of that, you're a millionaire. And then on top of that, you're constantly just working on the shows that you have. And yes, you get to talk to people on the phone because he has call-ins and this and that, but you're so insulated. You have the millionaire experience, you have the Hollywood experience, and then on top of that, you're working with Hollywood and you live in New York. You're not having a real experience of black people, and you're never in the trenches of where the working class are. Trump went deeper into the Bronx than this guy did. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then the contradiction here that he says Biden will have to earn the vote. He said that he heard this from a regular black person, that Biden's going to have to earn the vote. Earn the vote or else it goes to who? Trump. So I guess black Trump voters do exist, potentially. Then he also says that there's black people in Chicago and New York who are saying that the border is a huge issue. Well, if they're having a huge issue with the border, who do you think they're blaming? Biden. And if they're blaming Biden, which means that they don't want to vote for him, who are they going to vote for? Trump. So you can't possibly see, after talking to people in Chicago, which I've covered Chicago a lot, talking to people in New York City who are all saying that the border's an issue, you can't possibly comprehend that they're going to vote for Trump in large numbers. You see what I mean? All in the same segment, he said these things. It's very interesting with these CNN talking points. And it's so funny that he has the same talking points as most of CNN and most of MSNBC. But he's not a party guy. He's not a party guy. Not at all. He doesn't have a team. He's not on a team. Are you sure about that? Here, let me play something for you guys real quick.
Last word.
Yeah, let the record show. I totally agree with Robert De Niro. I am one of those people that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. I think he is a threat to democracy.
Really?
I think that he led an attempted coup in this country. You know, he said he wanted to suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. At the least, that's just not a patriotic thing to say.
I don't believe that.
He absolutely said that on
I will
Truth
look
Social.
that up.
He did.
He wanted to suspend the Constitution?
He said we should suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. He said it on Truth Social, then said he didn't say it. So I read Project 25. I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know if he will necessarily leave. I hope he does, as you said.
I don't. Like I said, I think
he does.
even if he
This guy said, let the record show I'm one of those people that has TDS. Hey, but guys, I'm not a party guy. Hey, no, I'm not on either side. I just think Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. And I think Joe Biden is the person that you should vote for president. And also, I think Kamala Harris is an intelligent woman. I'm not a party guy. I'm just a moron. Come on, man. Are you kidding me right now? That's why when I saw this, I'm like, I have to just do a quick video on this. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Says he's not a party guy, but then also says we need protection from Trump. Also says he has TDS. Also says he agrees with Robert De Niro. All of these. Just say you're a Democrat. This guy should just say, I am a bleeding heart Democrat. And he's afraid that Trump won't leave. Based on a book he read. Not a party guy. Okay. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. Oh, man. I just wanted to bring that to you really quick because I just keep seeing this guy popping up. For years, been seeing him on The Breakfast Club. He has a podcast with Andrew Schultz called The Brilliant Idiots. You know, and he's been doing those two shows for a long, long time. And I've always seen him in the hip hop sphere of things, a little bit pop culture, talking about stuff like that. But now he's trying to enter into politics and he's doing a terrible job, I have to say. And even if it is just to sell a book, it's like, stay in your proper lane, man, because right now it's just within one segment he says all these things that just don't add up at all. And it's like, if you're just trying to sell a book, just do the segments about your book. But the fact that he's going on these rants about Donald Trump staging coups and not leaving office and being a threat to democracy and all these different things, you know, and saying everything but he thinks that he's not a party guy because he won't say I'm endorsing Joe Biden, but you're doing everything you can do to smear Donald Trump. Hey, man, that means you're a party guy. Guess which one? You're not Republican, obviously. But as a millionaire, I bet you like the way Republicans think. Bet you like that whole thing. Bet you're not interested in socialism taking over with your millions of dollars and the millions of dollars you're about to make off this book. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. Just had to do that call out really quick. Anyway, like the channel, subscribe, hit the notifications. It helps the channel tremendously. You have no idea. And other than that, I'm out.